friendship with God. This is another message from 5 Minutes or Less with Jesus. Genesis 18:17. Shall I hide from Abraham what I am doing? You see, the delight of friendship, according to Genesis 18, brings out the delight of true friendship with God, as compared with simply just feeling his presence occasionally in prayer. This friendship means being so intimately in touch with God that you'll never even need to ask him to show you his will. You are ready. You're full of the word, and you know what his will is. You have been seeking him. You've been intimate with him. Your heart is close to his heart. And then his will just becomes natural for you to begin to flow and operate in. He told Mary and Martha, your sister has chosen the best part, just to sit at my feet and understand what my will is through intimacy. It's also evidence of a level of intimacy which confirms that you are nearing the final stage of your discipleship and discipline in the life of faith. When you have a right standing relationship with God, you have a life of freedom, of liberty, of delight, of abundance, of blessings, of clarity. Why? Because you and I, we are God's will. And all of your common sense decisions are actually his will for you, unless you get a sense or a feeling of restraint brought on by a check in your spirit that tells you, oh, hold it. I need to use discernment here. I need understanding and wisdom here. Wisdom is the principal thing, but in all of your getting of wisdom, get understanding also, which is the word phronesis. It means understanding how to relate to something and using a spiritual discernment before you make the decision. You see, you're free to make decisions in the light of a perfect and delightful relationship and friendship with God, knowing that if your decisions are wrong, he will lovingly produce that sense of restraint or conviction. Once he does, you must stop immediately and make an adjustment. See, the difficulty of his friendship, why did Abraham stop praying when he did? He stopped because he still was lacking this next dimension, this next level of intimacy in his relationship with God, which would enable him boldly to continue on with the Lord in prayer until his desire was granted. Whenever we stop short of our true desire in prayer and say, well, I don't know, maybe this is not God's will, then we still have not entered that next dimension and level he wants us to go through prayer. Don't stop praying. Pray always. Continue always in prayer and supplication. Let your requests be made known unto God. Oh, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will be in your hearts and in your mind. It's a part of a great friendship. He said, I don't call you servants now. I call you friend. Isn't that what Jesus said? It also shows that we are not as intimately acquainted with God as Jesus was and as Jesus would have had us to be. That they may be one, just as we are one, he said in John 17:22. Think of the last thing you prayed about. Were you devoted to your desire or to God? Was your determination to get some gift of the Spirit for yourself or to get to God? For your Father knows the things you have need of before you ask, Matthew 6:8. The reason for asking is so you may get to know God better. Delight yourself also in the Lord, not in what you want from him, and he shall give you the desires of your heart. Psalms 37:4. We should keep praying to get a perfect understanding from our Lord through our friendship with God. This has been another message from 5 Minutes or Less with Jesus.